All right, we have come to that point of the evening where we are here to celebrate the album release, the book release of The Target Shoots Back. Manuel Roberto Chibbi Ordunez, a Mexican-born, Texas-raised queer performer, poet, publisher, producer, and community organizer with over 15 years of experience. A three-time San Antonio Poetry Grand Slam champion, Chibbi has performed nationally and coached teams across the nation at major slams from Denver, Colorado, the East Coast, the West Coast, on down to Laredo, Texas, at the border. Their work has appeared in such places as the Latino Book Review, the Texas Review, the Acentos Review, We Are Me Too, BuzzFeed, and others, and is a recipient of fellowships from Tin House, Lambda Literary, Sundress Academy for the Arts, and the recipient of the 2022 Arts and Letters Award from the Friends of the San Antonio Public Library. This is the album, this is the book, this is the creator. San Antonio, show some love for Chibbi
En este país, en donde los sueños nacen de las oraciones de nuestros antepasados, en donde la sangre siembra el pan repartido por manos talladas por un verano bien pasado, en este país, en donde el color del sol y del desierto se refleja en la piel de los nacidos antes de la historia en los libros, creados por la lengua que atiende el consejo del aliento, en este país, where we traded our mother's tongue for safe passage, nos dirán ilegal y desigual, foreign and invasive. But the truth is, we have always been here. Before the colony, we were eagle, ate snake, didn't need no 13 stars and bars. Mi gente, we spit, talent still, somos la celebración. Sunrise in the downpour, una sonrisa de papel picado, a story sung in the rooted dirt, una tierra mojada the people can clay together, racing the sugar-driven hummingbird over hollowed horizons. I am ancestor rooted, rooster in el pasado with sharp-skinned hawk hope in the wisp of prayer. Sister saplings linked, grow a field, reaching la gente, el ritmo tumbao, tumbando las garras de guerra. Here, our heartbeats heal clicks. Mira mi mariachi, marching clave to a future without fences, grading families. Watch me, firebrush, see us, rock rose. We be sage, cedar, live oak fields. We poof, pollen, yes, sneeze. We embrace the bud and the bulb. We sow and we reap. We steep in history, infinitely fighting the urge to horse blind or bullet. We monarch, butterfly, every angle. The ancestral journey. Somos gloria eterna, el sueño sin fin, la manifestación milagrosa, the moon's desire that moves the ocean's swell. Thank you. That's just the first one. Speaking of cedar, how's everyone hanging in there? Also, I think that was the voice that I think it was, but I want a quick shout out. The trumpet in that track was played by none other than Bobby Lopez. Where you at, Bobby? Incredible trumpet player and conductor and just overall musical badass. That totally reached out on a whim, was being like, hey, Bobby, we haven't seen each other since like 2018. Maybe you want to do this thing for me? And he was like, fuck yeah, send it over. And I was like, ah! And then when he sent it back, I was like, holy shit! It's real. Because it takes a community of people. And shout out to all of you who showed up from so many different parts of my community. But it took me a while to find my people and my community. I grew up down in Laredo, Texas, which if you don't know, yeah, sure. I'm sorry. Flash your lights if you need help. If you don't know, the city is 98% Mexican, 2% everything else, which also means it's like 95% Catholic, which is was not, it's come a long way, but was not the friendliest place for a young queerling to kind of discover who they were and who they wanted to be and how they wanted to move through life. And then I went to school in Austin, Texas, which in the early 2000s was like the one little blue Mecca in a sea of red. And there was this organization called Hangout, and they would host an event every Wednesday night, just a social where people would get together. And every Wednesday, 2 blocks south of the Texas Capitol, like 100 queer people would descend on this tiny little coffee shop that didn't know what to do with itself. And there were people of all different races and gender expressions and body sizes and cultures and socioeconomic backgrounds and coming together. And for someone that felt like he was in the dark for so long, to me, it felt like I was finally finding light. See, I used to carry shame like a shield, and all its weight, shouldered a Wyoming fence post station to station, hunched and hurting. 14 years to Mount Calvary, walking straight with all that weight. Eventually, a tomb where I could disappear. The closets where I put on costume and courage to walk this dark sanctuary in broad daylight. El único joto. Solo, soltero y asustado, I have seen the beatings, heard the sermons, bullets, belts, blessings, and 10 Hail Marys for each impure thought and a long shot wish to shed that shield and unholster history. But all its weight felt like a burden, felt like oppression, felt like an island in a small town where out and proud looked like X marks the spot. I white-knuckled that shield, buried my nails into my palms, a self-imposed stigmata, until I realized that a barrier looks like a bullseye for bullies. And I was tired of being target practice. See, if I was gonna be fodder, let me be juicy, let me be rich, let me drip, wet, shine, let me be gold, light, and fighter, for fear has no home in my hunger. So I sharpened that shield into a spear, leather-bound and harnessed, the healing hands of history, black, brown, and brick. So this is an ode to the riots that changed everything, to the coded language making it possible to find friends of Dorothy this side of the rainbow, to the milk cartons thrown at beautifully flamboyant bodies, to the bruises, to the bloody lips, to the blood, a grill of rubies, a string of pearls, a limp wrist, and a hard, cocky attitude, serving shade and spilling tea to the boys, too fluid to walk a straight line, losing cold nights in a celibate jail cell, to the tenacity of love, to the audacity of a kiss, to the times I've said I'm tired but kept going, to the times I was too tired to keep going, to the nail polish chipped off before coming home, for those of us that couldn't come home, to the eyeliner turned black eye and that right hook instinctually buried in their pious jaws, to counselors and experimenting on college campuses, to reclaiming pink triangles and feeling my fabulous faggoty self emanating every shade of hair dye, to Alex and Hangout and Standout and QPOC, to the girls that were actually boys, to the boys that were actually neither, to the friends that listened, to the parents that never left us, to to the family we found when everybody left us. For Matthew and Bree, Merci and Ria, for hundreds more buried without a headline. To Harvey, to Marcia, to Baldwin, to Ginsberg, Guillermo, Gloria, Eddie and Gianni, to Annie and Elton and Freddie, to India, MJ, Dominique and Billy, to Bunny, to Rue, George, Ricky, Whitney, to Cher, God is almighty, light and fighters all, to the pain and struggle that binds us, to our past victories and the losses ahead, to the journey to the light, to the future, to the fighters, to those that throw punches, to those that write memes, to the squad soldiering the steps of Congress, to the shy and uncomfortable souls still searching. Déjame decirte, el único joto ya no está solo. Somos luz, somos luchadores, somos lo que somos. We have found our home. We have found each other. We are light and fighters all.
That's only the second one?
It's on the second one. I know. It's gonna be a good night, I promise. Again, a big shout out to the Esperanza Center for hosting us and for having us here. When thinking of where to have this event, I was like, duh, here. It's because of places like the Esperanza Center that have opened their doors to people for so many years that we feel like we have spaces where we can be our true, authentic selves. I know for a lot of people in this city, the Esperanza Center has been a safe place for them for a very long time, and I'm just gracious to be on this stage and to sharing this space and this moment with y'all and with everyone who has come through these rooms before. Yeah, we can go ahead and clap that up. Because unfortunately, out in the real world, we are not always afforded the luxury of a safe space. Like this one time, I was exiting the club at 2:30 in the morning when a group of Michelob machos in Make America Great Again hats decided to let my rainbow flag covered ass know that I was a faggot. Their spit put the strings of my spine straight, eyes down, mouth shut. I kept walking, but they, being ever so ignorant in the art of subtlety, didn't see the other cheek. They saw an easy target. Said it again, faggot. And I could have stayed a shadow, said nothing, and just hoped to heel click my way to there's no place like home, there's no place like home, there's no place like home. The same way we tell women to avoid catcalls lest they become roadkill. But how much longer will we let a group of Jaeger bombs and popped collar polos wave their flaccid, unwelcome advances like a get-out-of-jail-free card? The status quo stroke their misogyny on college campuses and courtrooms because silence is permission. Passive is complacent. And where I come from, faggot is a fighting word. Like I may be a faggot, but I ain't your faggot. I was quiet in middle school before I found my voice. I said nothing in high school before I knew my history. Now I brass knuckle stonewall and swing. Wonder where would I be without bloody knuckles? Well-behaved women seldom make history, and one lone loud-mouthed faggot will probably die young. I made myself a target, as vulnerable as paper to burn like kindle. See, this is how the target shoots back. when invisibility isn't an option anymore. How a punching bag boxes back fear. How a slap in the face becomes a fist in the air. How a red hat looks like a reminder. A MAGA hat killed Harvey Milk. A MAGA hat murdered MLK. And the target shot back. Showed the beast it could no longer hide behind the bullet. Showed the hunter what happens when you take on the pride. Look, I understand the need to stay safe, but what is life if lived in darkness? Camouflaged in the closets, buried in the bushes. You're not safe. You're just next. And at what cost? Oppression? Erasure? A bloody lip? They were gonna do that anyway. Thank you. Texas is not the friendliest place for queer people right now, in case you don't know. If you have a queer person in your life, tell them you love them. Yeah, there's some fuck shit in this state. The problem is, I've lived here my whole life. And all over Texas. And because of that, it's still my home, right? So many people saying like, well, if you don't like it, just leave. And I'm like, but I do love it here, all right? I don't love our politics, but I love our people. I love our places. And so I wrote this poem as a way to express my love. I hope you love it. An ode to Texas. If odes were written the way Mexican moms give compliments. Texas, you stubborn roadkill. Animal muerto en el camino, apestas, but you can't admit the obvious. Texas, I know you're more than the stereotype you present to the world. You could be a whole-ass delicacy if you didn't so desperately want to be más como el pendejo de tu tío Sam. Face facts, Texas. Your best cowboys are gay and are riding each other around back. Don't even try to pretend like cowboys were here before vaqueros. Texas, your desperate attempt to flaunt saran-wrapped cities in tourism commercials to hide the crusty truth of conquest is a transparent trap for gringos ricos that I can't keep rubbernecking. I got astigmatism in both eyes anyway. Texas, you're the American story. A stolen land wiping the brown smudges off its ass with white toilet paper. Explícame, why is your legislature so pale when your land is so colorful? Texas, your gerrymandering is showing. Texas, your land littered with Spanish names. You did it before it was cool. Ahí y allá y por todos lados. Pronounce them correctly, or I'm gonna give you a swift kick in the Greg Abbott the next time I hear someone call it Guadalupe. Texas, I hate how big you are. Texas, I love how big you are. Texas, be bigger, be better, be like your barbecue, your carne asadas, your crawfish boils, your chili cook-offs, the champion of all things hot and holy. Que no sabes, todo es mejor con cebolla y ajo. Texas, admit it. DFW has gotten out of control, and no one north of San Antonio can claim to have good Mexican food. Texas, let Tex-Mex be its own thing and stop trying to put queso on everything. I am always a taco truck away from home. You should see how free I hang at Hippie Hollow. Just don't take pictures, y'all. Texas, your pierced flesh is fracking dry. Mira lo que está pasando. Don't you see the acres of unused potential? Texas, fuck suburban sprawl. Your small towns are not a footnote. Not everyone has to resign to saying they're from the Houston area. Texas, you haven't been the same since you were Mexico. Texas, you pretentious son of a bitch. Stop trying to bully Dallas into being the Chicago of the South, or Austin into Los Angeles, or Houston into Dallas. California wants to be you when she grows up. Why do you think they keep coming here? Estos gringos ricos que ponen aguacate en todo para sobrecargarte por un pinche toast. Texas, be the role model. Texas, stop treating El Paso como tu primo en La Pinta. You can't just pawn him off on New Mexico because he's half a day's drive from everywhere else. Text him, tell him you still care. Texas, be the role model for the beautiful, bold-ass, cast iron melting pot America wants to be. And stop pretending that Marfa isn't anything but a pathetic attempt to be Greenwich Village. We don't need an oasis for artists when every city is already erupting with crafty survivors. Texas, y'all, emphasis on the all. Texas, I know why they hate on you, why they think you smug, why they roll their eyes every time you puff and proud at your chest and sing that mockingbird cry. Me vale madre lo que dicen. The stars at night are big and bright. Texas, you could be captivating if you started embracing everything that you are. Your people are as diverse as your weather in October. And I have been pocketing their stories in the coffers of these pages. The brown, black, red, white, and gold faces you've never allowed to be the desert and the cactus flower. A prickly pear, the night blooming cereus. Let us come out of the dark. Texas, brillas, y brillas, y brillas, y brillas. Texas, if you weren't such a sucker, you'd celebrate the 4th of July with chicharrones and jambalaya. Texas, you are an abusive lover. Como me sigues pegando y yo te sigo amando. You hate yourself for everything you've become, but I'll never leave you. Texas is full of magical places, y'all. And I love it because of that. So many independent, locally owned businesses, restaurants, great tourist attractions, amazing performance venues, natural landscapes, all of it. I love it. And I would like to take you to one of my favorite places in Texas. A place my husband introduced me to, a place where I have found I can fully just, we all need those kinds of places, right? So I mentioned it in the last poem, but I'm gonna take you there right now, if that's okay with you. You can close your eyes if you want. Is a beach with no sand. At least, that's what I like to call it. Because a clothing-optional park that edges rocks along a strip of Lake Travis is too much to explain to someone that ultimately doesn't care about the places I go that feel infinite or afterlife. So, nudist beach will have to do. Brown blue water sparkling to blinding extent in temperatures that force us to lizard over gray rocks or lion seal on the cove of someone's privates. So foreign and so right. I wonder, see, I see some stranger things staring behind the safety of sunglasses, their whispers carrying across the dead mussel shells that wind chime under barren rock ledges. We are only judged when free. In a world world so full of assholes. These don't hide behind fabric opinions, as resilient as the trees, refusing to give up in this heat. I find the most forgotten cove, floating with the washed up debris of upchurned lake beds by boats waving by with wandering eyes, and think good or bad. Just the fact that they're talking about me means I matter, when I want nothing more than to disappear and be seen. Once we accept this, it gets easier to get on living without apology. I've never felt more honest as when I was baking, ass up and sizzling, cooking hide out in the open. I come here for the sun to rim me. Never mind the oogling douche rockets, realizing it is okay to never need what others want you to have. When I finally forget that they are there, I ripple without wonder. Here I am, no longer a posture of apology, shrugging without the weight of permission, too heavy to soar, too sore to climb, sun-dried and slick. I float like trumpet solos over cherry moon ripples, tiny as an awkward moment. Needless to say, life is just a waiting room for bliss. I am learning to be spoiled darlings in the thicket of dried switches. The most weightless everything, sugar for the microcosms. Make some noise if you've ever been to Hippie Hollow. So you know. And as big as Texas is, I've driven a lot of it, and I love the open road. I'm learning more to appreciate the journey rather than the destination, and no shade to my friends, family, husband, but like, I travel for a living as a poet, and one of my favorite places to be is alone in the car on the open road, right? And just turn on a podcast or music or nothing and just drive. But doing that, especially in Texas, actually in a lot of the places I've driven through, you see some of the most fucked up billboards you have ever seen in your life. And one time I was driving, I'm pretty sure it was to Dallas. I'm pretty sure I saw this in Plano. It makes sense that I saw this in Plano. But I saw this billboard and I immediately had to pull over and reckon with what I had just seen and write this poem. Because the advertisement read, for $119, you could buy your kid a bulletproof backpack. And I scoff, instead of scream at the caucasity. Genuflect before the OGs, guns, God, government, and all the goddamn guilt. Guilty, we sin, we swallow salvation. Nope, absolution, too easily. A bulletproof backpack for $119? This is what you get when you pray to the Church of the NRA. Smith & Wesson 316, for man so loved the gun, he gave his only begotten son. A bulletproof backpack for $119. Mitch McConnell sells us bedtime stories with a bullet. The boogeyman's got an AR-15. El Cucuy got a bump stock for Christmas, and Americans get a Congress of enablers. The jaw only knows to parrot thoughts and prayers. Ask for divine intervention, you'll get metal detecting confessionals beeping at every entrance. The gospel, according to Peter, better be prepared. See, children still kneel in prayer under desks, behind locked doors, wonder how Heavenly Father will save them when all he gave them was a bulletproof backpack for $119. Another transubstantiated textile hung on the wall next to the cross. A tweet from the president cleanses the conscience of a trigger-happy congregation. Holy wishes are just watered-down remedies in a communion chalice. This is not about rights, not about protection. It's about men and their poor attempts at being gods. Texas has women hanging from their fallopian tubes, less access to health care, more access to gunpowder. They say all lives matter while turning and running from the issues for $119. You do the same. Super PACs got your back at least. Carry your textbooks, thoughts, and prayers like a shield. Make your child Captain America, the poster boy for the war between prophets and principles. Do you feel any safer? In school, at a supermarket, at a concert, in a church. Hail Mary, full of tears, the Lord is shit. No, that's not right. Our Father who art in Fairfax, hallowed be thy points. No, that's not right. Thy kingdom come, thy will be profitable from sea to shining sea. See, there is no savior for America, just an illusion. Wafer thin absolution for $119. Amen. And it's only gonna get crazier. What is it, like 10 days? Something? I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But on New Year's Eve, we were all hanging out at Rooster's house. Because if you don't know, the west side of San Antonio is where you spend New Year's Eve. Just saying. We were all hanging out at Rooster's house, and we were reminiscing on 2024 and how long of a year it was. Like, I saw this tweet that like threw me for a loop, and I was flabbergasted. It said, 2024 has been so long, we had a Summer Olympics and everybody already forgot that shit happened. I felt abused by 2024. I felt manhandled. And at New Year's Eve, we were talking about it, and I remember thinking, 2025 is going to be our bitch. Because I ain't taking shit anymore. Because it's people yelling at each, everyone is talking, everyone is yelling. No one is listening. And I can't help but wonder, when is enough enough? See, post-election America is still split. Read the headlines and laughed, fake news. Read in the puckered face of a bewildering disappointment, seeing stars and stripes redlining friends and family out of our Twitter feed so fast, ready to put this behind us or put the other side out of its festering feelings. And everyone is fighting for a breaking news headline that won't save us from the division we've been invested in, collecting interest groups, thinking with enough capital we can take over Congress. Everyone's asking questions they already know the answers to, like, how did he win? Why was it that close? I wonder, why are we covering our eyes with bonfires, seeing red in the yard signs and bumper stickers? I am left with so many questions about expectations and expulsions, a seesaw of where I place my anger, like, why am I a monolith in the tongue of a political pundit? Where's CNN's Technicolor magic wall that helps explain why all black people are expected to vote the same? How Cubanos reconcile their vote with their own voyage? When so many of my tios chose their fortune over their families? What makes Middle America so afraid of people who have always been here? Who are we really fighting? Red side, blue side, my side is right and left out of the conversation as lines are carved, monuments come down, and walls go up to comfortably conceal us in our own delusion of the enemy. It's no secret that Whitey got a lot of explaining to do, and American parallels are black and blue. Ain't enough frozen peas for all the black eyes staring at history, square in the bigotry, right in the C4-shaped lie. It keeps lighting about all its greatness. What's so great about people fired up, armed to their tobacco-stained teeth in the streets, but not yet ready to sentence blue lives for crimes against black lives and all lives? Can't stop screaming at so much blood, putting band-aids on a severed limb, wondering why it won't stop when we won't stop letting 80-year-olds make decisions about our futures. I am tired of having to choose between the belt or the switch. The lid popped off this pressure cooker because someone forgot to let it breathe. But before I start pointing fingers, better be ready to put my ear where my mouth is and extend a hand that isn't desperately clenched around its own preconceptions. I have accomplished so much more by fighting for rather than against something. So let go and let's go. And maybe we can flip this idea of red or blue into one true American spectrum. And like I said, I have the privilege of touring and performing as a poet for a living. And usually that is in colleges and universities, in the nooks, crannies, and butt cracks of this country, y'all, like upstate Iowa, South Carolina, the whole state is just a nook, cranny, and butt crack. The mountains of Pennsylvania, I shit you not, I was driving through the mountains of Pennsylvania after having gone around at least 3 horse-drawn Amish people. They have road signs that say, watch out for the horse-drawn buggies. And my GPS was telling me, you will arrive at your destination in 1 minute. And I'm like, the fuck I will? I am in the middle of the mountains of Pennsylvania. There is nothing but mountains and trees and holy shit, it's a university. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not always the most confident driving through these places, and I am sometimes scared to perform in front of these people. And oftentimes, I am pleasantly surprised with the experience as soon as I get to talk to them. And so I wrote this poem after a real live experience in Knoxville, Tennessee. I hope you enjoy it. You see, sometimes doggone small town America treats me like they got a bone to pick. The thorn in their white picket rose bushes, the weeds flourishing in their inevitable rapture of their attempt to pave men. But today, I was surprised when a woman looking like a month of penance came up to me after my set and asked, "Can I hug you?" Said, "I love you. I love you. And I hope everyone that knows you loves you too." See, sometimes some towns aren't all rubber ball sacks on pickup trucks and aging Jesus freaks with impaling pitchforks. Sign me up. Sometimes they are the living ode to the challenges and change that came before. So, Praise to the unexpected. Praise to the stepfather that cradles his wife's queer boy when all he'd known before was a fistful of silence. Praise to imaginary fence lines. In a world so full of division, these neighbors don't hide from each other. Praise to the diners that refuse to update their decor. They're not known for the ambiance. Just get the goddamn biscuits and gravy and shut the fuck up. Praise to every absent father becoming extinguished street lamps, a belly of goosebumps, enabling an abundance of stars on an otherwise bleak night. Praise to the lack of street signs or any clear and definite direction. There is so much of this country that I would have missed if I had just listened to Google Maps. Praise to the irrational speed limits, forcing me to go 45 in a wide open 6-lane highway. This is my teacher. Go slower in life. Who knows when you'll be down this road again. Praise to the times a handshake has defied my expectations. My guard is more than happy to come down. Praise to the big town unbridled bodies living a life away from here. You're safe. Y'all, the real heroes with your fearless kneecaps exposed, daring to be cut down. Praise to every time that I was wrong. Every stereotype assigned, disproven. Praise to us all, aging like twink turned dad bod. We are not what we expected we'd be, but we're learning to be comfortable with ourselves and each other, despite the weight. Some of y'all were laughing a little too hard at that, like you've been there before. I'm looking at you. So, all through the night, I've shared a lot about Sorry, I gotta change this thing. Forgive me, it's gonna sound a little weird as I go through it, but that's fine. I was pressing the wrong button. Technology! So I've shared a lot about me and my identities and the multiple facets that comprise vocabulary is important, my identity, and honestly all of ours. We are a mosaic of pieces that make together a big, great, grand, beautiful thing. Yes, clap for yourselves in the mosaic of life. But it hasn't always been easy. I think, like figuring out who you are is a lifelong process, and anyone that tells you otherwise is full of shit. Or they're the Buddha. One or the other. And it was not especially, because everyone has it rough, but like it was interestingly difficult, because I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. But I never lived there. I grew up here in Texas, right? And so there was a lot of question and debate over like what parts of my identity do I get to claim and which parts am I appropriating, or what feels like home and what feels like home when nothing feels like home, right? And so this poem is my attempt to explain that. And it feels a bit like a spiral. And so I hope you enjoy the journey, because it is a journey. Shout out to Spanish guitars. See, I visited the temples of Tenochtitlan when I was 8, and all I got was this lousy imposter syndrome. And I've never felt more like a tourist as when taxied in the streets of my birthplace, unable to have a conversation without tripping into the borrowed currency of a colonizer's language, harboring a bloated throat behind this port of entry, 100 skies away from mis abuelos, And I am suffocated by the realization that there is so much of me foreign and undiscovered. How Cortez of me to glean the riches of a culture and call them mine without a single callous. I am little brown boy wishing he were browner. Little brown boy, güero, despite the black curly hair. Am I loved in a country that hates where I'm from? Am I hated in a country my parents abandoned? Am I the X in Latinx, the variable always trying to be solved? I want nothing more than to be a carretero in Oaxaca instead of an Orduña in Texas, rejecting the American manipulation of my Mexican, two first names, too cumbersome for people to hold them wholly. I am becoming what is most convenient for the people and leaving behind la gente. And when we meet again, how will I look mis ancestros en el alma and not feel like I'm breaking into their afterlife? And in their afterlife, I feel like I'm breaking el alma de mis ancestros. How will I look when I meet la gente and leave behind the people that were most convenient, becoming who I am? Too holy to hold, for people too cumbersome to be named. My Mexican manipulated by American rejection of Orduña, Spain, conquering Texas, of a carretero's labor in Oaxaca. I want nothing more than to be solved instead of a variable. I am the X in Latinx, abandoned by a country my parents loved, hated by a country that loves vacationing where I'm from, but not me. Little brown boy curled in the privilege of being güero. I am little brown boy wishing brown didn't feel broken and calloused from every single call to make mine a culture and all the riches it gleams. Can I cut out Cortez from what I've learned and become less foreign and discover there is so much of me realized and suffocating? Mis abuelos, 100 skies away, were the bloated throat that harbored their language before the colonizers tripped into the borrowed currency of a conversation about birthplace, how we are taxied like tourists into places where we have never felt like anything less than a lousy imposter. When I was 8, I visited the temples of Tenochtitlan, and in the temples of Tenochtitlan, I am a tourist in the afterlife, breaking any lousy imposter. I was el alma de mis ancestros in the streets of my birthplace, taxied into a conversation with la gente, leaving behind the people that are tripping into the borrowed currency of what is most convenient and a bloated throats, manipulating a port of entry too cumbersome for people with two first names. I am wholly on hold, harboring a colonizer's language across 100 skies into my Mexican-American learning of mis abuelos, Texas, Orduña, Oaxaca, Carretero, all suffocated by the realization there is so much of me I want to try to solve, the foreign and undiscovered. How variable of me to Cortez the riches of a culture, call them callous as mine. I am little brown boy and güero, the ex-Latin X, abandoning his parent country, hating his black curly hair. And where I am from, am I loved? And where am I from? In a country where I am from, a country in love. Am I loved where I am? Can I love a country I hate? Am I loved where I am from? Can I hate where I am and love a country that hates? I am loved where I am, loved where I am, a country in love. I love where I am from, where I am loved. In a hated country, I love where I am loved. Can I love where I am? I loved where I am loved. That one's tricky to memorize. I apologize. I got one more for you. Have y'all had a good time so far? Come talk to me afterward. I am gonna keep it going. This last one's long. I was in a weird stage of my life last year where all I was writing was either like 30-second poems or 10-minute poems and like nothing in between. But before I get into this, come talk to me afterwards. Buy merchandise. Not just from me, from all the people that are out here. These are working artists of the city of San Antonio. And this city has so many amazing, incredible artists, and we need to support them at every chance I get. I want to thank my family, my parents that drove up here from Laredo, and my aunt. My cousin Megan, who has been so politely stopping everyone at the door to make sure you were checked in. Everyone needs a good Capricorn in their life, okay? That bitch holds it down. My husband, who puts up with my crazy on the regular. Make more noise for my husband. He puts up with my crazy. I love you. Everyone needs a crazy Aquarius in their life. And all my friends, all of you. I'm gonna hold it in, okay. So I want to leave us with a note of hope. Yeah, because we need it. One of the superpowers that artists have is the ability to create the worlds that we wished we lived in, right? And to imagine the futures that we want for each other. And this last poem is my attempt at doing that. And just to set the scene, in my perfect world, it is autumn year-round, okay? Central Texas autumn, all right? I have to specify that whenever I'm up in like fucking Massachusetts, and I'm like, no. Not your autumn. My autumn. Except on the weekends, like let it still jump up to like the high 80s, low 90s, so we could go to the lake or the river or whatever body of water we like to be naked in. Just me. No, not just me. So I want you to imagine that. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. This has meant so much. I honestly did not know what to expect. I was like, I'm putting it out. I'm throwing a show. Maybe people will show up, and you fucking did. And you have warmed my heart. I would not be who I am without the people around me. So thank you for being here and sharing this experience with me. This last one is called Autumn Always. Every day, we are blessed autumn sun rays, painting our purple skin a blanket of hope. Every weekend, a crisp breeze kissed us melanated, magical even, daring of us to be nothing but authentic. Every weekend, summer shimmers us grateful, 52 weeks a year, no seasonal depression here. We grow up never knowing natural disasters. Here we do not see red or blue. We are violet folk, relishing the blend, branches making pinky promise kisses to see every difference as an honorable distinction. I am in elbows over how much we love and love to love. All daps and high fives, a hand slap and a clap on the back. Here, we collect bookshelves of laughter, pull out our favorites, share them like gossip. Here, a bellowing cackle, a vamping chuckle, a fluttering giggle are airborne like Jordan, way more contagious than a virus. Here we call every neighborhood our barrio, with a panaderia every other block, or a tamale vendor, or a soul food truck, or a seafood boil, or a burger joint, or a wing stand. The point being, it smells like full bellies in our barrios. In our eternal autumn, the South is only remembered for the kind of food that make you want to slap somebody. These horizons never cradled the sediments of the dead. Our flesh was never fertilizer for tomorrow's harvest. Our blues were always just hues of dawn's departure. The ember-basted trees know no sorrow, bear no strange fruit. All that hangs from their empathic limbs are tire swings. Indigo children are jazz notes without bars, unburdened by staff, keys, and expectations, and perfectly manicured acrylics never get chipped over gender norms because the norm is undefinable and every child is allowed to decide their plumage for their damn selves. Here, Breonna Taylor is a cardiovascular surgeon. Here, Sandra Bland is a cello-playing music teacher. Here, Emmett Till solos piccolo at the Lincoln Center. Here, Lincoln was remembered mostly for his stylish fashion choices and wasn't assassinated. Harvey Milk wasn't assassinated. Che Guevara wasn't assassinated. Malcolm X wasn't assassinated. MLK wasn't assassinated. Their names never harbored in the catacombs of our throats. They never grew legacies from tombstones. They never needed to be remembered for their sacrifice. This is where every day is Independence Day because everyone has always been free. There's no need for Hispanic Heritage Month. We just have heritage. No Black History Month because Black history is American history. This world, here there is no tolerance for intolerance, and the only thing alternative is music. This world does not have triggered fingers and bullets, never make crimson portraits out of innocent bodies. The only scarlet stains on our streets are where pomegranate juice slips with such unceremonious splendor out of the mouths of boys that never learned to pose for chalk lines. Here, 12 is just a number. Just another name for the dozens. But in this world, we battle to see who got the best compliments, aggressively trying to find new ways to honor each other, like, yo mama so fine, yo mama's cooking so good, your brain so bright, looks like NASA found a new star. Here, there are no cops. There's no need for cops. We have stern-looking fathers with raised eyebrows on every stoop. Ominously bedazzled chancla scattered everywhere, warnings of swift judgment here. We were all raised right. I am only policed by my mother, and every mother lives to be at least 93, always see their children grow up. They are not funneled through pipelines. Every city is enriched with clean drinking water, and no one has access to Dakota because sacred lands are sacred, period. Do you see the beauty of our autumn, where there are no kids in cages because it never occurred to anyone to cage those of us that are the most free? There are no refugees because there is no need for refuge. There is no border crisis because there is no border. New worlds were never discovered. This is where we share in what has always been here. The land belongs to no one because we do not know how to claim anything but this joy. This joy is radiant, chaotic, and catching. The sun shines on everyone equally. The clouds do not discriminate where the life-bringing rains fall, and the moon, y'all, the moon is always full. This is where no one is scared to walk home alone in the lavender of night. Here, our plum skin is seen for the royalty we are. Here, they ask. Here, they respect. Here, they walk away when we say no. Here, we say no without fear. Here, our body is our body, and nobody gets to let their lives or laws live in this lobby. Here, we are free to be the celebration, live the glorious gift of today, because here, no one becomes a hashtag. Hashtag is just another word for pound sign, not the prefix for the names of innocent starlings that die too soon in this season. No one dies too soon. When we die in our sleep. surrounded by our loved ones, a noble right to seed our souls, our bodies fade into the welcoming sunset and marry the sunset. We are at once nowhere and everywhere, and every memory of us fills the blood of every person we have ever touched. Here, we do not fear death, because here we have never known loss. Here, we are the dream. Here, we wake up knowing we gonna be all right, y'all. Thank you, San Antonio! Whew. Oh, wait. Turn the string lights up, Max, so he can get a picture of all these gorgeous people. Turn on the house lights. Y'all enjoy yourselves. Y'all enjoy each other. Y'all visit us, visit the vendors, visit amongst each other, meet someone new, make a new friend, make a connection. We only have each other. Thank you. Stay safe out there. Good night.